All right, Robert Radford, interview video for Chief Accountant with Daily Grind. To start off with, we're going to discuss my expertise and knowledge in accounting and finance. Over the course of about the past 11 to 12 years, I've been ever increasingly gaining experience and knowledge in the accounting and finance department. I've always been a team player and a go-getter with the ability to ever increasingly meet deadlines and improve processes and procedures that help the company meet their deadlines quicker, right? To be able to expand on things and be able to find ways to do things a little bit better or even automate the whole system as a whole project and be able to find ways to just improve an accounting and finance department as a whole. Starting out with my original experience in accounts payable, I've pretty much mastered the accounts payable process and procedures over the course of the last 5 to 10 years. Moved on to staff accounting and fixed asset roles that gave me a broad range of accounting and finance skills, especially when it comes to the day to day, week to week, and month to month cycles for the application of Daily Grind's chief accountant. Understandably, there are people out there that have completed their education. Understandably, they have more experience than me as well. I do feel that I am the best candidate because I am on the pursuit of completing my degree and will continue my furthering my education. There's not just stopping at a bachelor's degree; it's moving on to an MBA and eventually sitting for a CPA as well. To go along with that, my experience is ever changing. I'm currently a staff accountant at a mid-sized company where I'm doing all the balance sheet reconciliations. I'm managing a team of two other people that directly work underneath me as far as in the accounts payable department. With my experience in the accounts receivable side of things and customer service side of things, it's mostly been project management, taking projects from start to finish and being able to document and record everything that goes along with them and then go back and review them and see if the project was completed correctly or if there's further action items that are needed. One of my biggest experiences was an ERP conversion from a QuickBooks to a Microsoft Navision. I was the team accountant lead for the ERP conversion, worked directly with the consultants in setting up the project, setting up the software, programming, and helping the IT department understand our needs to also be able to understand what they needed and what the limitations were, and then being able to solve the problems in general being able to work with multiple departments outside of the accounting department and be able to find ways to collaborate together and make the project work as a whole was definitely one of my greatest strengths. When I moved over to Hoover Ferguson within the last year and a half, I took on the responsibilities as an accounts payable manager. What I found when I started there was the entire department needed to be overhauled. So immediately going into this, knowing that there was a lot of changes that need to be made, I spent the first 3 months learning the operations as is, and then the next 3 months implementing changes to better the department. In the end, we brought confidence back to the accounts payable department. Outside departments within the company came to me with issues that we solved immediately. We restored the confidence with the vendors, making sure that they had everything that they needed as well, and then also bridging the gap between the executive team and the department so they understood when something was needed to be done or if they sent something that had to be done, they knew had confidence that it was going to be handled correctly going forward. Directly speaking to the chief accountant position and why I think I could contribute to this company, as a startup company, you need somebody well rounded with lots of different accounting experience, right? You need somebody that's done accounts payable, done the accounts receivable, knows the fixed assets and the startup side, can put together the budget. So my experience ranging from many different departments directly helps the startup companies, right? I'm able to jump in, get everything under control as we launch a department, train the people to take over the department, and then have them working underneath me. So then I'm just kind of helping out with the day to day, with the month to month questions, not necessarily the day to day work. So having that general, long lasting accounting experience that spans multiple different parts of accounting and finance is definitely something that I feel helps the company really get started and grow from the beginning. So to to dive into a difficult situation or problem, so excuse me. At Hoover Ferguson, when I first started, we had an AP clerk that was, in my mind, uncoachable. I spent about 4 or 5 months really trying to coach this person and try to, change the mindset to try to make them understand that there's more to it than just data entry. So we went through and we had several training sessions together. We sat down together. I kind of, put together some documentation for him to kind of review and then try to really help him understand that we can't just be robots entering invoices, that we need to take the initiative to go out and find out what the actual coding or what the invoice is for, if it's even approved. So over the course of about 2 or 3 months of doing this, we'd have little successes throughout the week, right? There would be little times where things would be a success, but then over the course of a month, it was more regression that was coming around with the individual. Unfortunately, the situation continued to get a little worse. There wasn't any more development from this individual. So eventually, we had to replace him with a new person that we had interviewed and brought in. During that time, we still needed him to continue doing the entry, right? We didn't have somebody to directly sit in there to go for it. So we continued the development process even after we had made the decision to replace him. It was still taking the time to develop this person and try to have them be better on their next job that they get to go to, right? So it's not that we were just going to shut it off and say, okay, we're done with you. We definitely tried to continue to develop people in the best way possible. The person that we brought in actually did take the position of AP supervisor from me after training them and developing them as a team member. This person now takes and handles all the responsibilities ever since I moved to the staff accounting role. So the staff development for the startup company, right? We're going to have lots of new hires, lots of people coming in. We're going to be doing lots of training. There's going to be lots of, questions. I directly feel that staff development is key to a successful startup company. So being able to share my knowledge and experience with others, being able to train and development over time, having the wide range of skills and accounting departments that I've been involved with, the continued education that I plan on doing furthering down the road, never stop learning, always willing to take on new tasks and learn new items. With a combination of all of that, I feel that that would make me the best candidate for this position. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to have a face to face interview, and I thank you for your time. And that concludes.